Alrighty, so let's actually get to what Meghan Markle and Prince Harry actually said. Because, I mean, what difficult lives they lead. It is one of the saddest stories I've ever heard. I mean, a prince, grew up a prince, was shielded from his own idiocy for literally years. Remember, Prince Harry was a guy.
Oprah's interview with Meghan Markle and Prince Harry sent shockwaves through the media. It was a spectacle, a carefully orchestrated display of royal grievances. Frankly, it was a wine fest. Markle, draped in designer clothes, poured out her heart about the supposed hardships of royal life. Spare me. The Duchess seemed to forget that millions around the world face real struggles, real pain. Her complaints about palace protocol and media scrutiny reeked of entitlement. The interview was a masterclass in playing the victim. Markle, with Harry nodding along, painted a picture of a cold, uncaring institution. The royal family, steeped in tradition, was portrayed as the villain.
Who just, back in 2005, dressed up in like a full-on Nazi uniform at a Halloween party. Right? So like Ralph Northam would just, never happened, right? It's pretty incredible how that guy is now Captain Woke. So that's exciting stuff. Repentance is possible, people. All you have to do is take your entire family and just toss them under the bus. And meanwhile, Meghan, what a victim. What a difficult life she has led. I can't speak enough about what a heroine she is. I mean, just the amount of heroism that she displayed by going on Oprah and ripping on her in-laws' family for fame and fortune. I mean, truly incredible stuff. It's tough. It's tough. I mean, so many tough things have happened to Meghan Markle. Like one time, Kate Middleton taught her to curtsy. Or Prince Harry taught her to curtsy right before she met the Queen. You know, it's just because she was an ignorant American, you see. And then she was ushered into the halls back. But then she saw the flaws in the royal family in a way no one else could, because she'd experienced American-style racism. So she was shocked to see it in the halls of royalty. That's it. By the way, Netflix movie coming out in a year. Watch. Starring them, probably. Right? Well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe she'll recast herself, but I don't know. Maybe she likes seeing herself on film. Who the hell knows? In any case, here she was explaining, you know, the Prince Harry taught her to curtsy. She was just a little down-home girl from America, and she came in, and she had to learn the ways of the royals, but only she was able to identify their deepest secret flaw. Here we go, with Oprah.
This narrative, carefully crafted for maximum emotional impact, resonated with a certain audience. But for many, it rang hollow. Where was the gratitude for the privilege and opportunity bestowed upon her?
Never realized she was supposed to curtsy before the Queen. So that's, well, what a difficult, I mean, how difficult must that have been? To have to curtsy before the Queen of England? My God, how humiliating. You know, like every other human who curtsies before the Queen of England or bows before the Queen of England? Can't believe it. Just crazy. Crazy stuff. And that's when the penny dropped and she was about to learn of the predations of the royals. Okay, well, by the way, it's not all on Meghan Markle. Harry's the actual villain of this piece. Okay, Harry grew up with these people, and now he's just dumping all over his entire family. Harry's a bag of garbage. Harry is terrible. Harry was Captain, I'm going to dress up however I want to dress up. I'm going to go to Las Vegas and get naked and smoke pot on the basis of my royal heritage. And then he's like, and you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to take my entire family. I'm just going to drive up this bus over them, back up the bus over them, because my wife, who wants to be a famous actress and wasn't very good in Suits, now she wants it. So I'm going to go right along. The real villain here is not even Meghan. Right? Meghan is whatever Meghan is. Harry is the one who's the villain. It's his family. Right? So whatever I think of Meghan, I think twice as badly of Harry. Okay, so then Meghan Markle starts talking about how difficult, she starts talking about how racist everyone was. And she relates a conversation in which apparently somebody asked how dark her son's skin would be. Now, this would be an excellent time for Oprah, being the interviewer, to ask, okay, can you name a name? I mean, that would be if someone says something as overtly racist as, how dark is your son's skin going to be? First of all, what kind of stupid, I'm just going to say it. I don't believe that happened. I don't think that happened. Honest to God, I don't think it happened. The reason I don't think that happened is because no one says anything like that. That's a ridiculous question. How dark is your son's skin going to be? Like, beyond like the racism of it, the actual stupidity, like the human stupidity of having to ask that question. Do you not know what biracial children look like? Like what? Because I don't believe this for a second, but here she is saying a thing I don't, plus maybe it's true and she's such a bad actress that I can't even tell that it's true. That's possible too. Here is
What?
Cut away to Oprah looking all shocked. Yeah. And of course, she connects the fact that Harry, who is like ninth in line for the throne at this point, that Harry is not going to get the security, and he's not going to get all this stuff. And again, I believe at this point, they'd already decided they wanted to move to America, that was going to be the basis for, it was all about skin color. Of course, it was all about the racism. Okay, so she continues along these lines, and then she says that she wanted to commit suicide, and the royal family would not get her the mental help that she required. Okay, now, again, I don't know the truth or falsehood of any of these statements. I do know that once you claim that you were suicidal, that you had suicidal ideation, then people generally should not question that. So I will assume that this is true. I also will assume that I have no idea what anybody else did around her, because I don't think that she's a credible source about anything other than her own feelings. I think most people are credible sources on their own feelings, but people tend not to be credible sources when their self-interest is at stake. Here's Meghan Markle then trying to impute to the royal family a lack of care for her suicidal ideation, which is a hell of an accusation to make.
Where was the understanding of the responsibility that comes with royal status? The interview was a calculated move, a PR stunt designed to garner sympathy and boost the couple's brand, and it worked, at least temporarily. The court of public opinion, always eager for a royal scandal, lapped it up. But the aftertaste was bitter. The interview left a stain on the monarchy, a stain that will be difficult to erase. It also revealed the depths of Meghan and Harry's narcissism, their willingness to air dirty laundry on a global stage. In the end, the Oprah interview was a tragedy. It was a tragedy for the royal family, dragged through the mud by two of their own.
Okay, and then what she says is that she went to the institution and they were like, you can't get outside help, because if you get outside help, then that is going to become a story in and of itself. Well, okay, first of all, Meghan Markle was a story from like the day that she joined the royal family, because she started lecturing everybody inside the palace about race. I mean, she was in the tabloids every single day. So that's number one. Number two, if you think there aren't healthcare workers on staff at the palace, I have doubts. We'll get to more on this in just 1 second. First, let us talk about a simple truth. A lot is happening at that front door. It's never been more important to see who is there or what is happening. That is why now is the perfect time to upgrade your doorstep with a Ring video doorbell. With Ring, you can see and speak to whomever is at your door from anywhere, right on your phone. So you'll never miss a visitor, whether it's your neighbor, your dinner, your groceries, or you can keep those packages and deliveries safe as well. With motion detection, you get notified even if they don't ring the doorbell. If somebody stops by or something is going on, Ring lets you know. This is how I keep an eye on my kids. I have 3 kids. They're all moving now. The baby is crawling around. This means I cannot keep track of all 3 of them at the same time. And I only have 2 eyes, and they have to be focused in the same direction. There's no way for me to just be able to focus in several different places at once. No matter your home, Ring has everything you need to protect it. See and speak to whoever is at your door from anywhere with video doorbells. Keep an eye on every corner of your house with easy-to-install indoor and outdoor cams. Protect your whole home with Ring Alarm, a powerful, affordable whole home security system you can easily install yourself. Right now, got a special offer on the Ring Welcome Kit at ring.com/Ben Shapiro. It comes with the Ring Video Doorbell 3 and the Chime Pro, the perfect way to upgrade your front door and start your Ring experience. So head on over to ring.com/Ben Shapiro. That is ring.com/Ben Shapiro. Okay, so I'm not going to question her suicidal ideation.
It was a tragedy for the British public, forced to witness the unraveling of an institution they hold dear. And it was a tragedy for Meghan and Harry themselves, who seemed determined to burn all bridges in their quest for personal liberation. One can only hope that they find the peace and happiness they so desperately seek, though it seems unlikely they will find it in the spotlight. At the heart of Meghan and Harry's complaints was the issue of race. Markle, the first biracial woman to marry into the modern royal family, alleged that she faced racism within the institution. This is a serious accusation, one that cannot be taken lightly. However, it's important to separate genuine concerns about racism from Markle's own grievances.
I am going to question the story because, again, no names, no specifics. It is all these broad allegations that are being made. And in fact, post-interview, apparently Harry has now come out and says, you know who it wasn't? It wasn't Elizabeth and it wasn't Prince Philip. It wasn't any of the people who people actually care about from the royal family. But they won't name names. Okay, so this was pretty fun. At a certain point, Oprah actually asked Meghan if she left the royal family to brand build. And Meghan is like, no. Of course not. Here she was.
Claims of racism were vague and unsubstantiated. She spoke of concerns about her son's skin color, but offered no concrete evidence. These allegations, without any context or specifics, felt more like a way to deflect criticism and garner sympathy than a genuine cry for help. The royal family, for their part, denied the allegations. The Queen herself issued a rare statement saying that the issues raised, particularly that of race, were concerning and would be addressed by the family privately. The lack of evidence and the vague nature of the accusations made it difficult to assess the validity of Markle's claims. Was there genuine racism within the royal family? Or were Markle's experiences simply a result of cultural differences and the pressures of royal life? The truth, as always, is likely more nuanced than either side is willing to admit. What is clear is that Markle's accusations had a significant impact. They sparked a national conversation about race and the monarchy, a conversation that was long overdue. They also further divided the public, with some rallying behind Markle and others defending the royal family. The fallout from the Oprah interview, particularly the allegations of racism, continues to this day.
That's hysterically funny. I'm sorry. That's just from any angle. That is super funny. So Oprah's like, so did you like join the royal family and then you knew that you were going to build your career that way? And she's like, can you imagine? I left my career as a second-rate actress in a third-tier part on Suits to be a princess, and somebody would suggest that I did that for career purposes? No, I did it because I love this dumbass over here. Because I love the guy sitting next to me. This guy, right here. Prince Harry, Captain Lovable. Love that guy. I mean, I left a job on Suits. On Suits. Yeah, I'm sure it was all pure love. Listen, maybe they love each other. That's fine. Sure. All right. Sure. I'm sure career had nothing to do with that. I'm sorry. I left my job on Suits, and you're suggesting that maybe becoming a princess was a career move? A little I'm suggesting, because that is not a horizontal move right there. I'm sorry, when you think of like horizontal versus vertical career moves, actress on Suits to princess, is that a horizontal move? I'm going to go no on that one. No. Okay, but again, Markle is not the actual villain of this piece. Meghan Markle is whatever Meghan Markle is. Okay, Prince Harry is the villain of the piece. He knows all the members of his family. He's the one who has decided that he is going to go along with whatever his wife wants to do here. And he's going to say terrible, terrible things about his family. And he's going to prove that he is morally superior to his family.
It remains a sensitive and complex issue, one that is likely to resurface as Harry and Meghan continue to speak out about their experiences. The Oprah interview was not the beginning of Harry and Meghan's rift with the royal family. In January 2020, the couple announced their decision to step back as senior royals. This bombshell announcement, dubbed Megxit by the press, sent shockwaves through the UK and beyond. The couple cited intense media scrutiny and a desire for financial independence as reasons for their departure. Harry, in particular, seemed deeply affected by the relentless media attention. The death of his mother, Princess Diana, in a car crash while being pursued by paparazzi, cast a long shadow over his life. He spoke openly about his fears that history would repeat itself, that Meghan would suffer the same fate as his mother. The couple's decision to step back was, in many ways, an attempt to protect themselves and their children from the intrusive and often cruel British tabloid press. However, their departure was not without its critics. Some accused the couple of being selfish, of turning their backs on their duty to the crown. Others questioned their motives, suggesting that they were more interested in fame and fortune than in serving the public. The couple's decision to relocate to California, the heart of the entertainment industry, did little to quell these suspicions.
So, for example, Prince Harry, he says that he is free. His brother and his father, they are trapped, but he is so free now. He's free like a bird, and he is free to speak about the evils of his own family. First of all, people who dump on their own families typically ask jackasses, like not good people. Here's Prince Harry, but I'm free. They're trapped. I'm here with you, Oprah, with you. Here's Prince Harry, who, again, worse than Meghan, they don't get to leave. They're trapped. But I am free here with you, Oprah. And I got cut off from the royal fortune. I could only live on my mother's $25 million endowment. That's really what they said. $25 million. Okay, so there's an actual deeper underlying thing that's going on here, and that has to do with racism and colonialism. There's been this move in Britain to do sort of what you've seen in the United States, which is the entire history of Britain is about colonialism and racism and brutality, in the same way that the entire history of America is about racism and colonialism and brutality, right? This is all tied in. And Prince Harry backs that to the hilt. So he starts talking about how he's done the work, right? Other members of the royal family, they didn't do the work. He says racism drove him out of Britain. It was the tabloids and their racism that drove him out of Britain. And then he says, quote, I've spent many years doing the work and doing my own learning, but then my upbringing and the system in which I was brought up.
Despite the criticism, Harry and Meghan seemed determined to forge their own path. They signed lucrative deals with Netflix and Spotify, promising to produce content that would inform, uplift, and inspire. They also launched their own charitable foundation, Archewell, with the goal of unleashing the power of compassion to drive systemic cultural change. Whether they would succeed in their new ventures remained to be seen, but one thing was certain. Harry and Meghan were no longer content to be simply cogs in the royal machine. They were determined to be masters of their own destiny, even if it meant leaving behind the only life they had ever known.
And in which I've been exposed to. I wasn't aware of it to start with, but by God, it doesn't take very long to suddenly become aware of it. It takes living in her shoes for a day or those first 8 days to see where it was going to go and how far they were going to take it and get away with it. Yes. Now he's going to lecture the royal family on their race. Again, the only reason he's a relevant figure is because this is a relevant institution, but this is an attempt to tear down the institution, so let's be clear about what this is. Okay, at least by Prince Harry. And, I think that Markle is just bringing American brand racial politics to Britain, and it's kind of an ugly sight. It is kind of, especially if you're not willing to name names, because let's be real about this. If somebody said that as an employee of the royal family, and she named the name, they'd be fired. Right now, there's an investigation going on into Meghan Markle, right? Not into the royal family. It's going on into Meghan Markle and how she treated the employees and the staff over there. The reason this has some deeper significance, though, truly, is because what everybody recognizes is that the British monarchy being essentially just a facade at this point, that it really doesn't have any institutional power. All it is just a face for the history of Britain. And when Harry and Meghan make the case that the British monarchy is rife with colonialism and racism, that they have not moved beyond any of that, that there is still this deep systemic racism that is inherent in the most beloved part of the British government, namely the figurehead. What they're really saying is that all of British history and really British society is infused with the same sort of systemic racism they accuse America of having as well. That's what this is all about. I hope you enjoyed that clip from The Ben Shapiro Show. If you did, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so you stay up to date on all of our future content.
The long-term implications of Harry and Meghan's actions remain to be seen. Some believe that their departure from the royal family will ultimately be seen as a positive step, a necessary break from tradition that will allow the monarchy to modernize and thrive in the 21st century. Others fear that it has irrevocably damaged the institution, exposing its flaws and undermining its relevance in a rapidly changing world. The couple's recent trip to Colombia, where they met with Vice President Francia Marquez to discuss internet safety and the work of their Archewell Foundation, drew both praise and criticism. Supporters applauded their commitment to using their platform for good, while detractors saw it as further evidence of their ambition and their willingness to exploit their royal connections for personal gain. Comparisons were drawn between Harry and Meghan's trip and Edward VIII's controversial visit to Nazi Germany with Wallis Simpson in 1937. Both couples, it was argued, were driven by a desire to elevate the status of their partners outside of traditional royal roles. While the historical and political contexts are vastly different, the comparison highlights the enduring fascination with royal scandals and the tendency to view modern events through the lens of the past. Only time will tell what legacy Harry and Meghan will leave behind. Will they be remembered as trailblazers who helped to modernize the monarchy, or as rebels who dealt a fatal blow to an already fragile institution? The answer, like so much else in this saga, is far from clear. What is certain is that their story is far from over. Harry and Meghan, whether we like it or not, will continue to be a source of both fascination and controversy for many years to come. Their every move will be scrutinized, their every word dissected. The only question is, will they rise to the challenge or will they crumble under the weight of their own ambition?